They stole his future. But not his destiny. Jack Riley was 16 when he discovered something that would change the direction of his life forever. His late father had left behind a college fund for Jack's education and his future. But one evening, Jack accidentally learned that the money was no longer there. Jack lived with his mother, his stepfather, and his two step-siblings. From the outside, their home looked like a normal family household. But inside, Jack always felt like he didn't quite belong. His stepfather never openly abused him, but the difference in treatment was obvious. He tolerated Jack because of his mother, while the other children were loved openly and supported in everything they wanted to do. His stepbrother and stepsister seemed to live completely different lives. They traveled abroad while Jack stayed at his aunt's house, received expensive gifts, and were given opportunities that Jack could only dream about. For years, Jack stayed quiet and focused on school. He believed that if he worked hard enough, he could still build a good future for himself. Until that evening. That evening, Jack overheard a conversation between his stepfather and a family friend. His stepfather was proudly talking about the money he had spent on foreign trips and expensive purchases for his children. Something about the conversation felt strange. The amount of money being mentioned sounded very familiar to Jack. Later that night, Jack searched through some old papers his father had left behind. When he compared the numbers, the truth became painfully clear. The money his father had saved for his education had been withdrawn years earlier. And it hadn't been used for Jack at all. That money had funded vacations, luxury items, and a comfortable lifestyle for his stepfather's children. Jack's future had quietly been spent. For the first time in years, Jack decided he couldn't stay silent. He walked into the living room and asked his stepfather a simple question. "Why did you use the money my father saved for me?" The room went completely quiet. Instead of explaining, his stepfather became furious. He accused Jack of being disrespectful and ungrateful for everything the family had done for him. The argument escalated quickly. Within minutes, Jack's stepfather pointed to the door and told him to leave his house immediately. Jack turned toward his mother, hoping she would defend him or at least ask him to stay. Instead, she quietly told him that he needed to change his attitude and stop causing trouble. That night, 16-year-old Jack Riley walked out of the house with nothing but a small backpack and a heavy heart. But he also carried a powerful promise to himself. He would build a future no one could take away. He went to his aunt's house, who treated like her own. The years that followed were difficult. Jack worked small jobs to support himself while continuing his education. He studied late into the night and refused to give up, even when things seemed impossible. Eventually, his dedication paid off. Jack earned scholarships, graduated with honors, and was accepted into medical school. Step by step, he built the life he had once been told he didn't deserve. Meanwhile, life had taken a different turn for his stepfamily. His stepbrother's business ventures failed, leaving the family with heavy financial losses. His stepsister tried to become a content creator, but her efforts never brought success. The expensive lifestyle they once enjoyed slowly collapsed. Savings disappeared, debts piled up, and the family struggled to keep up with their expenses. One night, an emergency patient was rushed into the hospital where Jack worked. The patient had suffered a severe stroke. When Jack walked into the room and saw the patient, he froze. It was his stepfather. Despite everything that had happened in the past, Jack did not hesitate. He focused on the patient like any doctor would and successfully performed the life-saving surgery. Later, Jack learned that the family could not afford the hospital bill. Their savings had been exhausted by failed businesses and unsuccessful ambitions. Without telling anyone, Jack quietly paid the entire bill himself. Jack's future had quietly been spent. Years earlier, they had taken the future meant for him. But they had never taken his character. And in the end, Jack Riley chose to prove something far more powerful than revenge. He chose kindness. If this story touched your heart, subscribe. Because the next one might change your life.